Right now, we're about to talk to Nick Adhia from Oracle's Startup Cloud Accelerator.
Hi.
Hi, Nick. So, can you tell me why the Oracle Startup Cloud Accelerator decided to sponsor Voxxed Days?
So I think Voxxed Days is a really interesting initiative for the Bristol community. I think from our perspective, as Oracle is such a large technology company and we're a very founder-led company, we kind of realize that it's conferences like this and the type of developers, the startups, and the people that are coming together in this community that are going to be building the next big enterprises. So for us, it's a really good way for us to engage with the community, provide whatever support we can, and engage with the people that we think are going to be building tomorrow's companies.
Okay, thank you. And can you possibly explain to our audience what exactly an accelerator is?
Yeah, absolutely. So an accelerator is essentially a structured program which allows a company to accelerate certain elements of its growth. Now, traditionally, if you go back 10 years, it comes from Y Combinator, which is an accelerator in San Francisco where there was a need for investors to look at a curated pipeline of companies which they'd like to invest in. So then programs were created around mentoring and curriculum and essentially looking at how do they accelerate the growth of that company with the right connections so that they're actually investable and solving a specific problem. For us, it's a little bit different. As I'm sure you saw in the talk, we're trying to change the way that things are done because I think for us, investment isn't a priority just because our strategy is more around M&A. Really, it's about finding companies that we can help scale their product to an enterprise grade and also connect them to 420,000 enterprise customers. So it's a little bit different, but I think the whole ecosystem is building a much better way for startups to sort of thrive and actually become those big companies and potentially even those dinosaurs, as you heard.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit more about what your role in the company is?
Right. So I essentially run global operations and expansion for all of the markets where we're building out our accelerator. So I work for someone called Reggie Bradford, who is a serial entrepreneur and is essentially heading up this program. What my role really defines is we go into a market, we then essentially have a program that's set up within the ecosystem itself. And it's our role, and as part of my team, to basically curate the right companies, put them through the right processes so that they're able to see some value from both our technology and the connection to customers at the end of the program.
Okay. And can you tell me your story?
Yeah, it's a quite interesting story. I actually started off doing a law degree, strangely, and realised that I didn't want to do the typical Indian thing where you just kind of like either become a doctor or an engineer, otherwise you just almost get disowned. So I actually ended up falling into the tech space, and I worked at a company called Bright Cove, which was working in from a sales remit, and then was headhunted by a company called Shoutlet, which was in the social media platform. That was my first real exposure to tech companies, and I really enjoyed it, and I was building out the European team. And then I started to decide I wanted to build my own startup. And we built a company which was basically in the data science space. So we were essentially mining what's called SKU level data to deliver real-time insights and rewards to essentially customers and retail customers. And then essentially we got absorbed in some shape or form into Barclays, and then I ended up running their innovation team or parts of. So it's kind of a weird mixture of kind of tech and then startup and then seeing the corporate. But I think what that's kind of given me a good understanding of is that there is a real issue around misalignment between startups and corporates. And I think my mission at the moment is to fix how that operates and try to figure out how we work with more awesome developers that are coming to Voxxed.
Okay. Thank you. Is this your first Voxxed Days?
Oh, absolutely. This is my first Vox, but it's been great. I think what I really love about Bristol specifically is that if you look at it in comparison, I hate to say this from being from London and someone who's going to go back there this evening, it's far more collaborative than I've seen in other ecosystems. There's a genuine nature from the startups in the space, the corporates, the companies, the people, the academic institutions. There's almost this element that people want to help each other. And I think that's really quite special. And I think that type of... there are companies that are going to be created here that are going to create a completely different ecosystem because collaboration is the key here, because I think you can't do it by yourself.
Okay. So what advice or tips would you give to young startups?
So I think there'll be three things I would say, and I'll tell you my three biggest mistakes. I think that's probably the best way of kind of explaining. So first and foremost, be really relentless in your product market fit. So really understand, are you actually solving a real problem? There's a lot of companies I come across and startups that are trying to solutionize, and they're trying to create something without understanding fully the problem, and that means that they're not getting validation. The second part of that is really figure out how you can surround yourself with great people who can help you build a great team. Now, one of the mistakes we made, being very honest, is that our team wasn't the best team for a number of reasons, and I think there was a lot of different egos in play. So I think having people around you that can help you and challenge you in the right way is incredibly important. And I think the third part of this whole process is give first. I think that's a founder mechanism and founder mentality I'd give to anyone, that the more you give back to people and the more you give to the community, the more you'll get back. The best founders out there are the people that are giving their time, they're helping other people, they're making introductions, and they're doing it without an intention to return, because the next time I'm thinking of someone, I'm like, oh, hey, have you spoken to this founder? Because this person's just awesome. The more likable you are, people want to help you.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps and stuff, but that would be my sort of top 3.
Thank you. So would you come to Voxxed Days again?
Oh, absolutely. I think what's interesting around this is it's harnessing a different type of creative potential. It's harnessing people around very technical content. Obviously, I think my talk was the only non-technical one of the day, probably slightly differently. We may pitch it a bit differently next time, but I think what's nice around this is that it's bringing together people from startups and corporates together, because they're coming together to understand how they can develop from a technology standpoint. It's almost that the language from a technology standpoint has made a uniform platform for people from all different walks of life to come together, and I think that's pretty cool. So it's been a great day, and we're looking forward to the next one.
That's great. Well, thank you. That was Nick Adhia from Oracle Startup Cloud Accelerator.